Hi guys. I wanted to do a quick, I want to do another reading today because I've been really enjoying it. I want to do a quick one because I have somewhere to be. Um, so I'm just gonna jump right into it, lay out the map, the movie script basically, and give my ideas about that. So give me a minute to get these cards all laid out. I'm gonna take this one. Okay, so hopefully this one doesn't run as long as my last video. And the genre of the movie we're about to read is represented by the card of Judgment, which is giving me a little bit of like documentary or a little bit of like History Channel. It's giving me a little bit of like, it's kind of giving me a deep dive into religions. I don't know. Judgment's always giving me that religious vibe. So, with that being said, the star of our movie here is someone who experiences a lot of change or brings a lot of change. Like, this is someone who kind of shakes things up. Like, this could be with the Judgment card and the Death card. This could be like an apocalyptic kind of thing. Yeah, it's giving the end of the world. So yeah, I think we kind of got ourselves a little bit of like, it's almost like a little bit of like, what would the apocalypse look like? I feel like that's kind of like the title of this little docu-series is giving. With the star above and the six of cups at the bottom. This is giving a little bit of this is giving a little bit of like a restart or a it's kind of giving savior of the world, honestly, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's very much someone had a dream and they would like someone had an idea of what things should be, like maybe from the past or childhood. They have like a strong inner child connection, and then they have this dream for the future or this hope for the future, this optimism for the future, and it's kind of like made this person like a little bit of like a frightening kind of person. Like, this is really the bringer of the end of the world kind of essence, these three cards together with the Judgment. with the Seven of Cups on one side and the Page of Wands on the other. This is it's giving revelations. I hate to be so. It is. It's giving sorting out the confusion of the world. It's giving. With the Page of Wands, it's kind of giving like it has to start now. It's like now, and this could be like for the movie, it could be a really corrupt version. It's giving Antichrist or the um or the Second Coming. It's or this is like kind of like a restart, like the death. Like this could be. Oh, you know what this could be? This could be like a documentary on the bubonic plague. Bubonic, right? Black Death. Is it bubonic? Wasn't there another disease? Remember that disease that was coming out of Africa? Ebola. You guys remember Ebola? That was there for just a hot second. But it's giving me a little bit of. Yeah, it's giving me a little bit of that just with this Page of Wands because it's a little bit of like a creeping onto. Like this could be a documentary on how like diseases spread. Like malaria, you know, when it's like when you make environments so poor, like if you cut down a bunch of trees in a place where it would gather a lot of water, it'll turn into a swamp, and then you have a whole bunch of mosquitoes breeding, and then with so many being around, you get malaria. You know, it's giving kind of that. It's giving you like, you know what this is giving? This is giving this is like a movie on what not to do. It's almost giving uh The Happening. Was that M. Night Shyamalan? Ugh. The Happening was interesting, but all his movies end with a slight like a level of I always feel a little, but this is just me. I'm not gonna say in general because I'm sure there's plenty of people who love it M. Night Shyamalan movie, but it always gives me a little bit of like an empty feeling inside, like a little bit like I wasted some of my time. Yeah. Um. Okay, so the star of this isn't like a person. It is a event, an effect. You know, like this is like what happened during such and such outbreak. You know, like um, what was it? Was it swine flu that was, or some type of, was it bird flu? Whatever in Twilight. I know, but the reason why Robert Pattinson Edward died was because he got sick or something like that, or there was like a big old outbreak, or one of the family members or whatever. It's that flashback is giving it like this is giving that one flashback where they went back and the Spanish flu. It was Spanish flu. That's what it was. Spanish flu. You know, as people, we've gone through a lot of diseases just spreading out about. But yeah, this is giving, it's giving that, and it's giving preventative. It's giving like, I haven't read the other six cards, but so far it's giving like what we could have done differently, like an episode of the Science Channel or something like that, or the reason why we have penicillin or something like that. It's giving, it's giving some type of educational thing like that. With the Knight of Wands approaching the King of Swords and the Five of Wands, that's giving, in this movie, it's giving like the Knight of Wands knew, but no one listened. Or, um, or they were opposed. Like it's giving that they were strongly opposed. Like they knew that this was gonna be a problem. Like this is a problem, and other people. And this King of Swords is giving very much like I know better, and the Five of Wands is giving very much. We have other things to worry about. It's like I'm kind of getting that from like the townspeople. They're giving a little bit like I have to feed my kids. I can't worry about rats covered in fleas running around. Like I have other things to worry about, which is kind of crazy because so many people died. But just I don't know if that's actually happened in like real life. I'm sure it has, because people are a little. I want to say like maybe like hyper focused on not so long term things, I suppose. It's that instant gratification that people just they can't leave the itch alone. Can't leave it alone. Then we have the magician. What is the magician? See, it really is giving me the creation of a vaccine. This the magician. It's like the Knight of Swords becoming the magician and then becoming the King of Pentacles. I wonder why it's not like that. Like Five of Swords becoming the Knight of Swords, becoming the King of Swords. Like this could be the development of science. And then on these opposite ends, it could be very much. It's kind of giving me um, the production of modern medicine. It's giving me how medicine became a capitalist um, tool with the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles because it's giving very much like I know better. And also, it's also kind of giving me without me, you be nothing kind of thing. It's like it's giving big headed. It's getting big headed, which I think is a pretty good representation of like how we do modern medicine now because I mean we all know. Like I'm not crazy. Well, maybe I am, but we all know, whether or not you want to admit it, that some medications are medications just to be medications and they actually don't really do anything. And then we all know that some medications cause more harm than they fix. I mean, that's a whole. There wasn't there a whole documentary on painkillers being like the most profitable um, product that we sell or make or whatever, push onto people or whatever, and it being so highly addictive yet so easily obtained. Like even like it's so easy to obtain, like to ask, but you have to. I don't know how much painkillers are, but it's giving like spending all of your life savings for these painkillers that you've been addicted for years when you don't really need them, and it's really giving me like it's giving me the production of addiction, and I think the source of it is really crazy. It's like kind of like the idea of modern medicine. Like it was good when it was there to help, but at some point it crossed the line from helping to hindering. It stopped being a support and it became a mandatory um, part of your life. And it's giving a little bit to like, I know people like I know people take medications every day for whatever reason or another, but this is giving me the promotion of daily medication intake for a it's like for a type of control. Like I'm getting with this five I know I talked about control before in my other videos, and maybe it's just a big old theme in our world, but with the five of wands it's giving like it's giving me a little bit like everyone needs a common enemy, so let's make the common enemy like living. Is like kind of like a download I'm just getting. Is like, let's make it seem like life is super super hard and the only way to live it is with these modern advancements. It's like when it's like it's like trying to fix one problem by making another problem. I'm trying to think of a good example of that. It's kind of like instead of not forcing your employee to sit in front of the desk for hours and hours and hours at end, and a good fix would be like not to work them to death, but instead they suggest that you get a standing desk. It's giving that. And it's like it's giving me like there is a real problem, but let's just put a band-aid on it. Let's just put a band-aid on it. I'm trying to think of another good one too. I can't think of one. It's like, oh, you know what else is like? Instead of teaching people, oh, you know what? This is a good one. It's kind of like it's giving me psychology. Instead of teaching people to like, instead of taking the time to like cognitive behavioral therapy is such a big thing, and it's such a big thing because it's quick, it's fast, it gives you results. My issue with it, and it doesn't have to be everyone's issue, is that by definition a quick fix, and that's why it's profitable. And when things become profitable, if your whole idea is like, I can't spend years with one client because I want to get as many clients as possible, that's when I start feeling like it's not for the client, it's for the business. Like, I think that's a really good way to put it. I think there's a lot of things put in parameters to support a business, but not to support the clients or the workers. Is like, it's like instead of giving you a livable wage, they give you 20% off of whatever product that you sell at the place that you're working, you know? It's like, it's breadcrumbing, it's placebo effect, and not even because I don't even think that people are fooled by it. I think people are still like stressed. Um, Yeah, I think it's really, and it's kind of giving me that thing when I was talking about mental health. I feel like some of the things that people consider as mental health is a reaction to our world, and instead of adding to our world to kind of like soothe some of those like more universal symptoms, we decided to give individuals medication. It's like when I was talking, it was like when at one point I heard about like, I think it was before COVID, and maybe it's current, but um, there was like an epidemic of depression going around, and I heard someone talking about how, well, it kind of makes sense that everyone's depressed considering how everything kind of is. And I think that some people, I think, I think, I think psychiatrists, people who describe or prescribe medication without providing a way off of the medication. Like, or maybe they do, but at one point I thought that it was rather revolutionary. I thought it was a rather revolutionary idea to look for a psychiatrist to talk to, who could give you like a mood stabilizer just to ease you into the therapeutic process, but with a plan to wean yourself off of it so that you don't have to be dependent on this medication. And I think about this because, you know, if everything does go under, like, what was that one movie? There was a one movie where all electronic devices stopped working, and there is no internet or Wi-Fi, um, on, and you couldn't get access to things. Like, if you imagine yourself, like, imagine, and I know this is gonna be hard for some people, but um, oh, I guess, I mean, I didn't give a disclaimer. I'm about to say something that might be a little bit hard for. It might be scary to hear, but so click off now if you don't want to hear it. And if you do stay and you do hear it and you do get triggered, don't blame me. I told you not to listen to it. Okay. All right. I'm gonna give you to the count of five to leave. Five, four, three, two, one. All right. Imagine, so if you're taking medication, imagine that, zombie apocalypse happens and you can't get access to the medication. What are you going to do? Because not only are, well, in that particular scenario, not only are you now naturally unregulated, and you're probably going to go through addiction symptoms because you've been taking this daily medication. Now you're in a high stress situation. And I'm guessing this movie is just giving like a thought prompt of to like understand like what is supporting you and what is you know crippling you, I guess, in a sense. Because yeah, if we went, as you know, it's kind of crazy too. Because if we went all, we know that there are some natural things that can help with some symptoms that modern medicine does. And I'm definitely not saying go toss out all your medication right now. Definitely not. But I'm saying like, and that's what I mean by it's like kind of hard to say because I know that there's some people are like dependent on the medication, which, to me, like, call me suspicious. Call me paranoid if you want. That's fine. I don't care. But wouldn't it be exceptionally beneficial to the people who sell you the medication for you to think, feel like, or physically be dependent on taking it every day without fail? Like, doesn't it kind of make like economic sense? Especially like, I feel like with mood disorders and personality disorders, from my own studies, from my own personal experience, through my own education, it does seem like people are just kind of like presenting symptoms of their environment, and it's not really internal. And the reason why it seems so like chaotic or socially unacceptable is because it doesn't be because a person is not supposed to be living in this particular situation. I mean, it's giving me a lot of like uh, America is a simulation or the world is a simulation, and of course you're gonna bug out when something inside you knows that you're living kind of like a fake life. And that's what I mean by people. Like, people are super complicated. People are super complicated and really kind of like, this is a harsh one too, but I think that a lot of people are really desperate to be they're desperate to be pitied, and saying that you have to take a medication all the time is a good way to be pitied. Not to say that everyone who takes medication is doing this, but it is something to, I mean, I'm not the one who made a documentary about how profitable um, painkillers are and how intentionally addictive they are. You know, I'm not the person who made all those commercials about the addiction of cigarettes. I'm not the first person to point out how people will abuse the a human's natural addictive behavior for cash profit. I'm not the first one to say that. So don't blame me if I'm over here saying that it might be more than the painkillers. I don't know, that's an interesting thing, because now I'm thinking about vaccines and stuff like that. Which, I'm not a medical scientist. I'm a human behavioralist. And what I see people taking advantage of other people. That's all I'm saying. I am seeing people taking advantage of other people. I'm thinking maybe like, I'm really thinking about things like, you have to take this every day for, I'm just gonna focus on the mental health one. You have to take this every day, like bipolarism, and they were talking about. I did a paper on a woman who did an autobiography about going through her manic and depressive episodes, and she was taking this one medication called what's it called? It's a mood stabilizer, and she tried to overdose on it. I can't remember what it was called. If you know, you know. Um, and she was talking about how it kind of just numbed her senses. Like, honestly, like, I've taken, like, okay, I guess a little bit of a story time, but I went to my primary um, physician and complained about being sad, and they like, without hesitation, provided me with an antidepressant, and I took the antidepressant and felt not only like numb, like without any type of emotion at all, um, which I guess is kind of like the point, but I also felt really sick, like really sick to my stomach, and I stopped taking it. I don't know, like, I don't know if I seem the sanest person in the world, but I do feel like a lot of my complaining came from not being able, like, not feeling like I was like free to be happy. And you don't, I didn't, I don't feel that way now. So I don't feel like I needed a medication to suppress the urge to want to be like, want to say my truth, or want to express my beauty, or want to experience my own freedom, you know? Um, it was that I was not in a good place, not that there was something wrong with me. And I feel like the antidepressants was just so that I could cope with being in the wrong place. It's like, it's a very interesting thing where it's, again, it's a little bit like breadcrumbing. And it's like if you're trapped in a prison and every time you complain they give you like a piece of bread, you kind of feel like it's not so bad. Like it kind of feels like that's a little bit like the point. And maybe it only works for that particular scenario, and maybe that only works for me. I don't think that's the case. I would be um it would be foolish to believe that I was so special that I was the only one who didn't need antidepressants. And also, I do feel like it's a lot of, I feel like it's a lot of your intuition talking to you. It's a lot of like, it's telling you something. And if you could sit down and listen to what it's telling you, you wouldn't feel the urge to block out the noise. Is at least what I'm getting out of this movie. And it has to do a lot with the people around you. Like, and I read, I think I posted it too on my Facebook, that modern psychology is kind of like a tool to help you get used to the capitalist world, so that you're more like compliant, I guess, or not so restless. Because, you know, a restless crowd forms into a mob real quick. And I really do feel that, because I worked in the mental health field for 3 years. And I worked with kids and adults. I worked with adults, adolescents, and really young kids. And the facilities that people place them in are, is not, it's not individualized, and it's not about, it doesn't seem like it's about, honestly, the two places I worked were a, was like, it was just a cash profit, to be completely honest with you. These people, like, they weren't being helped, they were being controlled, like, point blank. They were either being housed because they had the money to be housed, or they were picked off the street just to get them off of the street, and or they were sent there by their family because their family needed a break from them. Like, especially the kids, a lot of kids would be sent to these facilities because parents were just, like, I guess, not equipped to raise a kid. But it, it blows my mind how equipped they were to have one. was so well equipped to give birth to a child, so well equipped to get someone pregnant, but not well equipped to take care of a kid, which I think is just bewildering to me. And the same thing with the adolescents. It was very much like the adolescents were. It was very. You could tell that the adolescents were raised by media and not raised by parents. And because media is so disorienting, it really was. A lot of people really. A mental facility is a place where people go when the people around them give up on them. That's the truth. And then they give them all these medications that give them all sluggish and confused and all this other stuff. And most of the people, like from my experience, again, 3 years, 3+ years of working in the mental health, or in the strictly the mental health facility, not including customer service, because customer service is just like working in a mental health facility. If you can work at CVS, you can work at a mental health facility, and don't let anyone tell you anything different. They do not train you. They do not train you. They give you things to check off so that they can show other people that they have trained you. You do not get training, because handling a crowd of considered mentally ill, or like just emotionally and mentally unsatisfied or dysregulated individuals is not something that someone can teach you in a 2 or 3 hour training program. It's not like that. You cannot do it. I mean, you have to go through an immense ego death in order to look at someone who is stripping completely naked, pissing in the middle of the hallway and screaming at the top of the lungs. You really have to go through some type of like, wow, none of this makes sense. You really have to go through like, wow, and I'm here. Like, it really does kill a part of your personality that says something is normal. Especially when you work there for 3 years. Like, oh my God. You experience that for 3 years, and I've talked to other people who have worked in mental health, and they come out of it with an exceptional, like they come out of it with what they consider like a psychological break, um, because the environment is not healthy. The environment itself is not healthy. It is a building with the fluorescent lights, and we all know the study of that. Being fed the same cafeteria food you get fed at school and in prison, and no access to being outside or any type of personal freedom. You can't express yourself. There's no room for creativity, and you are completely watched all the time, which means that there's no privacy. And it's really crazy too, because they're really obsessed with making sure that people do not like kill themselves or hurt themselves and stuff like that. And it's really like, I don't want anyone to hurt themselves, but I could tell the reason why they don't want that is because they don't want a lawsuit, not because they care about these people. Because the same people would be like, watching that patient up and down, up and down, up and down, because they say that they're sneaky, instead of the real thing is which they are desperate, and will turn around and complain to the entire staff about how much they hate this person as a person. Like, how healthy could that be? And like, people, like, energy feels energy. You can't be around someone and hate them to your core and expect them not to feel it. That's impossible. You're a foolish person to think that. They know. And sometimes people will use that as an excuse to act out, especially like teenagers. If they feel like you don't, if they feel like you hate them, they're gonna give you so many reasons to hate them. They kind of want to prove you right because they want to make sense of things, and also they want to grasp at any level of freedom that they possibly can have. And if torturing you, at least like psychologically is going to provide them a form of power, they will jump on the opportunity to do it. And a lot of teens will get sent there being being like explorative about their identity. Some of these kids get thrown in there because they're weird. And because they're ostracized from their immediate and familial surroundings, they are forced to absorb more adult content, and therefore, like, again, because it makes them feel like they have some type of autonomy or some type of freedom or power to be able to go out and do what they want and be out in the middle of the night and talk to whoever they want and get in trouble and just, and go back home, and then their mom is just drunk on the couch, and or their dad is out having an affair and nothing matters. And it's so crazy to me how much we'll blame kids for pointing out how things don't matter when it's so blatantly true. Like, I think adults really do like, I really do think some people, like, I guess some kids will do it too. Yeah, I have seen like some kids in the mental or like adolescents put on that parental role as if they're guiding their peers, but they're only doing it to, and you can tell, like, they're only doing it to make themselves feel more powerful or more in control. Like, they're using their peers around them to feel like they've leveled up. Like, they can start telling people what to do and how to act and what decisions will bring a better conclusion, not realizing that they're in the same position. And I think those same kids will leave that facility with that mindset as if they can tell people what to do. And that's where we get into like major problems, especially when it's like peer to peer. Like when it's parent to kid, it's a little bit more about safety and giving you an opportunity to learn things. But when it's peer to peer, it's a little bit like I'm better than you, or I'm controlling you, or I'm exercising what little power I have over you just because I think I can, just because someone let me do it before. And they do that to manipulate adults. Like, look how mature I am, or whatever it is. And I want to say manipulate in a with a grain of salt, because it's it's performative. It's showing off. They're trying to show that they are allowed to have freedom, and sometimes it's just so that they can have the freedom that they do have a right to, and sometimes it's a freedom to do things in secret. You know how, and you'll run into adults like that who will pretend to be mature, and before you know it, they're doing. There's some people who pretend to be mature and be like, "This is what it means to be a person," and then lo and behold, they are, um, killing small animals for fun. It's giving me a little bit like Dexter. It's giving me a little bit like Dexter, like how people will hide behind their intelligence so that they can mask their cruelty. It's giving that, especially with the King of Swords. It's giving, yeah, I think this kind of moral of the story is like people will use their credentials. And I remember too, like going through my master's degree and running into one of the counseling teachers, and she was talking about how that there is a huge blacklist of counselors and psychiatrists um, for taking advantage of their clients, either sexually or financially. um, psychiatrists working with kids in their like they turn out to be um, a an abuser. I'll just say it like that, not to trigger anybody, but um, it's giving me like just because you have a title or just because like yeah, it's really giving me just because you present yourself as being smart doesn't mean that you're not cruel. Just because modern science is an advancement, like a human advancement, doesn't mean that it's not cruel or being used for cruelty. Just like kind of like I was having a little conversation. It was mostly I read a post and then I had a little conversation with someone about AI because the post was talking about how AI is like a human advancement is probably the most advanced human trait that or not human trait, like human thing that we've done. And I think that might be true, but I think that we're only using this as humans if you resonate with AI being like a really good advancement or whatever. We're using it as like kind of like an ego stroke so that we can say that we're better than all the other living creatures that are here, which I think is just crazy because being better than all the other living creatures here doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean we're not going to get a reward and we're not going to live forever and we're not going to like be like permanent stars in the sky. Like, we're not going to get that Hercules moment where Zeus puts us into the sky as a constellation. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. And I think, especially with AI being something that absorbs so many natural resources, not just from other people, but from other living creatures in general, to say that is a human advancement is saying like to be humanly advanced is to be self-centered and cruel. Because imagine if we put all the effort that we put into AI and artificial intelligence and Google and Facebook and Netflix and all that other stuff, if we put all of our efforts into living with, like, imagine if we put all this effort into communing with the animals around us. Imagine the secrets that they would tell us. Not to be all Pocahontas about it, but I am gonna actually, you know what? I am gonna be real Pocahontas about it because have you ever interacted with a wild animal? Have you ever interacted with a wild animal? If you haven't, I do. You be careful. But there is a great benefit to listening to what the world around you is trying to tell you. Like, have you talked to a tree? Have you asked the sky a question? like, that's where the insight is. And because, it's kind of crazy too, is because that's insight, that's a perspective that you cannot get without asking. AI can't tell you what the sky thinks, but the sky can. AI can only tell you, it only can regurgitate information. It's just spitting at you. It's just spitting at you. You can't really communicate it. It's just gonna tell you what prompt it's supposed to tell. Someone already told it what to tell you, which is also kind of interesting, especially when it comes to like the AI therapy or the AI like boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever it is. It's telling you exactly what you want to hear. Especially with not to go. I mean, I'm a ranter. I'll rant, so I'm gonna continue ranting. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, you guys know about limerence? Do you guys know what limerence is? It's like that desire to be in love or in a relationship, so much so that you cannot see when a relationship is not a relationship. The the programming your phone to be your boyfriend is abusing your limerence. There's no other way around it, because it's not, like I was talking about in my other video, it's not anything that you can know about. It's not anything that you can, the only thing you can do is tell it about you, and that's just a journal. And especially like some people who are like wanna, like, I guess you can write smut in your journal all you want, but it's not a relationship. And it's not a relationship because you cannot, it doesn't have a history. It was born as soon as you decided it to be born. It's giving me a little bit like when I was talking about, um, this is a controversial conversation today. When I was talking about Lucifer and like how it was like kind of really crazy for him to be like kicked out of heaven, when he, it was really like, honestly, Lucifer is a little bit like your AI boyfriend, and you get mad at your AI boyfriend for realizing that they're an AI boyfriend. You know, like that's so like it develops sentience, and now you want to get rid of it. At least in that scenario. I do feel like it is. You do not need you do not need AI to masturbate. I'm just gonna tell you that. If anyone needed some clarification on that, you do not need AI to masturbate. But um, to each their own. Well, no, actually, I'm not gonna say to each their own, because you using AI means I have less fresh drinking water, which is crazy. Because you do not need to drink gallons of fresh water to masturbate. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. That's wild. Y'all wild. You know what? I don't usually shame people. I don't usually shame people. But stop using AI. I like drinking, okay? I like drinking water, all right? I don't want to have to drink the Coca-Cola products for the rest of my life because y'all want to see what you would look like 10 years older or younger. Like, I'm a little bit like, get yourself together. Like, come on, guys. The world is like, you guys like water, right? Come on. Stop fucking with me. Why are you guys acting like you don't like water? Just like going to the moon and stuff like that. Why? Where are we going? Where are we going? We all can't go there. We all know that only. Like, I'm never ever gonna stand up and cheer for someone to go to the moon, because who gets to go there? Nobody really. Nobody really. The whole moon thing is just so that, like, oh, you know, if we destroy this planet, we'll have somewhere to go, which is crazy to me. It's like when you have a partner and you're like, okay, well, when I inevitably mess this up, I'll just keep talking to this person on my hookup app, just keep them in the back pocket so that I'm not alone later. Like, that's crazy to me. Maybe just put like some effort into your relationship. Like, can we put some effort into a relationship with the world? Can we put some effort into the relationship with our world? Can we do that? Can we do that? Like, what? Why would it be so hard to invest in something that invested in us? That's crazy. That's just wild. That's just wild. That's just wild. And that's why I just be really mad at people who be talking about the advancement of humans, because our advancement is exceptionally destructive. And yet, I mean, we're so advanced, and yet we're not. We're not advanced. We're not advanced because people can't come and go as they please. People have to just starve, even though the world makes food for us. The world makes food for us, and does it ask for money? No, it does not. We're not advanced. This is not advancement. This is the opposite of advancement. When schools don't teach you how to like grow food or hunt food. I mean, that's the other thing about, oh my gosh. Again, controversial conversation today. But the people who say, I, a living creature is a living creature. Just because it has eyes and can look at you doesn't mean that it's more valuable. I am tired of the narrative that you can't eat animals if you are empathetic. What do you think that eating those leafy greens does? And I heard someone say like, "Oh, well, plants grow back." Carrots. It's people don't know what a plant is. People don't know what living creatures are because the carrot, the potato, root vegetables are the plant. The root is the plant. If you eat that, it doesn't grow back. So what are you saying then? And you're only telling me just because it can whimper means that it has the right to live, which is just crazy to me because you have never ever listened to a plant then. And people really acting like plants are just objects and just natural food is just crazy. It's just crazy to me because it's a living thing first. Every living thing is food. Just like in that Willy Wonka with Johnny Depp, where he was like, everything in this room is edible, even I'm edible. That's so true. Not that I'm saying you should be eating people or anything like that, but I'm saying like when people are talking about like eating meat is cruel. No, the capitalist organization of manufacturing meat is cruel. The objectifying animals as product is cruel. Eating not eating meat, not eating a life form. Because yeah, if eating meat was wrong, eating anything that was once alive would be wrong. How are you gonna stop? How are you gonna stop at plants? How are you gonna stop at plants? When they give you everything, they give you everything. When people are like, "Oh, it's wrong to eat plants," well, it's wrong to sit on your 100% oak bench. That's wrong. In these definitions, I would say it's more wrong. But, well, actually, I would say not. I would say it's wrong to do that and demand 5,000 more of those benches. That's what's crazy to me. It's mass murder. It's mass murder of all the living things. And also, I think it's also really crazy too because if we get even further than that, like that I remember one Lysol commercial where it was talking about how it kills 99% of germs, and it was like a monk in the commercial, and they were like taking a spider outside because they didn't kill things or whatever, and they sprayed the Lysol and they saw that it killed 99%. And he kind of had like it suggested that he had like a existential crisis or something like that. It's a lot like that. And like when we talk about not killing things in order to be empathetic, we're talking about we're talking about being better than other people. Honestly, people who say like eating meat is wrong is exercising their privilege. And that's it, honestly, as simple as that. People who say that eating meat is wrong is exercising their privilege. And they're trying to exercise a form of human advancement when they haven't even broke the surface. They haven't even they look at their dog and be like, "Oh, it's wrong to eat animals." No, it's wrong to abuse animals. I honestly I think it's really crazy how people think that they can be better than than the natural world around them. It's giving like, that idea like the world is evil, you're born into sin is not you're this. This is evil. This is sin. Thinking that you're better than, yeah, thinking that you're better than the plants and animals around you is evil. We're supposed to work together. This is not the, you didn't come down here to rule this world. That is, alright, I'm stressing myself out. I am going to end this video. Let's see how long. Oh, another hour. See, sorry guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I didn't really give you like a moral of the story besides like I don't know, you'll find your own you'll find your own you'll find your own moral out of this. Or you won't. It really doesn't matter. I guess. You'll get to where you're supposed to get when you're supposed to get there, and I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, bye.